more. So today we are going to discuss about organizational behavior. So organizational behaviors matters a lot when you come to project management. So there is one of the, what would you say, author, which is called Frederick Taylor. So he basically tried to, what would you say, analyze the most productive way of doing manual task. How you manual task, what would you say, can be done in a productive manner. So for that, he has, I would say, come up with the three basic objectives. So through that, they can go for increase their productivity. So one is like to select the best man for the job. So that is the first thing. So that means you have to choose the best man for the job. So we have to identify who's the right person for the job, and that person need to be get appointed so that what do you say, the task will be done it in a productive manner. And second one is to instruct them in a best
Excuse me,
methods.
sir.
Yes, Nega.
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. Sir, actually,
Mm.
Sir Vel Murugan sir has given me and Apurva some work regarding to IEEE. So can
Okay,
we
okay.
just exclude this meeting, sir? Vel Murugan
Yes,
sir
yes.
said he will inform you, sir.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. Yeah, we can carry on.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Me and Apurva, sir.
Apurva. Okay, okay. You
Okay.
can do. Go ahead
Thank you,
and
sir.
do that. Yeah. And Nega and Apurva, they are there, left. Okay, just inform Adira. You just inform them, ask them to submit the, what to say, OD form,
Yes, sir. Yes.
so that they'll get a OD for this. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir.
Right. Right. So second one, the second point, to instruct them in best methods. So we have to identify the, how to say, the choose. We have to choose the right methodology for them to, what to say, provide the instructions. So that only, what to say, we can able to increase the productivity. And third one is basically like to give the incentives in the form of higher wages to the best workers. So we have to basically provide some, let's say, incentives in the sense some additional bonus kind of thing which need to be given to the workers so that would you say they'll be happy, and once they have become happy, then the work will done in a faster manner. So these are the three objectives behind, would you say, making the work in a most productive manner. So one is the best man for the job. Second one is the to provide the best method to instruct them, and third one is the higher wages to the workers. So these are three different, would you say, objectives if you have it, so that we can able to increase the productivity. So right, and the conditions under which the staff worked also affects the productivity. So why the productivity is being affects, because in what condition they are working on it. So that is also being matters. So if you are always under stress, then would you say the work won't be get completed. So should be work in a stress-free environment, and where would you say the employees need to be have should be have a, I would say, happy environment to work on the particular place, workplace, so that only would you say the productivity will be get increased. Otherwise, always it is the productivity will be get affected. And one more research, according to that, OB researchers discovered that the state of the mind of the people influenced the productivity. That's what I told. So it's all depends on the state. So whether you are in positive state or a negative state. So if you are in a positive state, would you say you'll be having kind of a happiness in your, would you say, mind, and then accordingly you'll, would you say, do a lot of work. And if you are in a sad mood, then what will happen? Automatically, you'll be slowing down, and then which will go forward to say affecting the productivity. So it is all the state. It's also been, would say, state of the mind also being playing vital role, increasing or decreasing of the productivity in the company. Fine. So there are two theories are being there related to, would say, analyze about this people. One is theory X, and another one is theory Y. So first one we are going to discuss about theory X. So what is this theory X? So the average human has innate dislike of work. If you see in that they have done the analysis, and in that average number of human people, they are, what do you say, having a dislike of work, because there are various reasons. So what is the reason? There is a need, therefore, cohesion, direction, and control. So here, because of this, let's say, behavior of the human being, sometimes they may be lazy or they are not, let's say, ready to not ready to respond to the seniors. So those kind of, let's say, environment where they have to come up with the, let's say, correlation, direction, and control. So basically, like they should have some kind of mechanism that need to be adapted, make sure that it is happening in a proper manner. So that means correlation is basically something like a kind of what to say, the environment creating kind of a stress among the not stress. It's not like a stress. It's like something work pressure they are going to give it on it, and direction and control. And another thing, if you've seen that the people are tend to avoid responsibility. So always, if you've seen that whenever you try to give any responsibility to the to say people, they not ready to take up, because they will feel that if you take up the responsibility, a lot of works to be done, and they are the one, they are responsible. If anything goes wrong, they'll be caught. So that is the reason why many of them, I would say, not ready to take the responsibility. So they'll be avoiding the responsibility. That is based on the theory X they found out. And next one is the theory Y. So theory Y, if you would say how you can make this more productive. So for that, work as natural as rest or play. So if you make that work as a natural, that means how they will be like normal human being. So in that way, if you make your work something like a rest or play, so that is a case. It should be natural. It should not be like I would say artificial. It should be natural. So that then they will be ready to work on it. And external control and curation is not only the way of bringing efforts directed towards the organization's end. So it's not only that they have to have some kind of a control or pressure put onto the employee and bring them, to say, in an effective manner. So that is not going to work out for every time. Maybe for certain places it might work, but not everywhere it is not going to work out. So that's what they're trying to mean. And commitment to the objectives, the functions of rewards associated with their achievements. So again, they need to have a committed employees. So are committed people towards a particular work, so that only the work will be done in an effective manner. So if they are not committed, then what level automatically the entire thing will be get collapsed. So when they are committedly doing that particular say work, and they are reaching the particular goal, then should be rewarded, and so reward with their whatever achievement they made on it. So some kind of, would say, appreciation should be given to the people, those who have done the hard work. So if you're not appreciating the people, that is also going to demotivate them, and they won't be doing any other work further. So that is another thing. And average human can learn to accept and further seeks responsibility. If there is if you've seen that average, would say, human can ready to learn, and they accept their mistakes, and as well as they go for, would say, seeking the responsibility. So further responsibility also they'll be ready to take up. So this all would say the average number of cases. And the capacity to exercise imagination and other creative qualities is widely would say distributed. And again, it's all about the imagination and as well as creativity of qualities. It's all been widely distributed based on that number of, would say, factors. So one of the factors, nothing but the capacity of the particular person. So based on that, I would say the imagination and creative qualities being vary. Fine. Now, how to select the, I would say, correct person or the right person for the job. So since it's in a software industry, it's very difficult to identify the person. So that's the reason why, would say, there are few mechanisms that need to be adapted to choose the right person for the job. So besides the software tools, the individual selected for a job affect the programming productivity. So how will you do that? So how will you choose the right person? So for that, the first most important thing is we need to identify the person who can communicate well. So the person who can communicate well, where I would say that means they can able to convince the people, as well as the information what they are trying to pass on, it will be clearly understood by everyone. So that is a case. That is one of the, to say, key ingredients of choosing the right person. And second one is the experience. Experience also being matters, because already they have a some kind of experience on this particular field, and they know that what are the issues it will come and how to overcome that particular issue. So experience also being matters for this particular job. It's all again depends on the type of job and type of people it's being needed. As based on that, we have to go for choosing on it. Fine. So for choosing the right people for the right job, so there is a recruitment process in each and every organization. So what is the recruitment process and how they will recruit the employees for their organization? So for that, it's basically, it is the responsibility of the organization. They should have some recruitment team should be there. So in the recruitment team, they will initially go for, call for a job. So when they go for call for a job, and state that this is the JD, so job description, where they'll be saying what is the role that has been currently open, or what is the responsibility of that particular person who's going to take up the role. All those things need to be described in this JD. So through that, they'll be understanding what what is their role. And once they understand that role, then they'll they can go for applying that particular role or for that particular job. And once they applied, so there are so many, resume will be coming to their, organization. Once they got so many resumes, then they have to choose the, the appropriate one. So choosing the appropriate one, so first need to have a certain parameter they need to be create on it. So first thing is they have to go for this particular position, whether they need experienced person or it's a fresher. So if it is an experienced person, so how many years of experience minimum should have? So that is the first criteria. And in which other field they should have experience. So that is the second criteria. And I would say the next thing is they need to go for checking out their salaries and the performance. So like that, they have to have some parameters they need to set on it. So once they set the parameters, and based on the parameter, they need to go for shortlisting the resume, and then they can go for call for the interview. So that's what the recruitment process will happen. So first one is the eligible candidate. So how they will identify the eligible candidate? Have a curriculum vitae which shows the right and required details. So if you take about the CV, that's why CV is playing vital role. So whenever you're going for creating your CV, see to that you're providing all the information in a short and brief manner, so that and that is the first thing. And second thing is, through that they need to understand what is your capability. So that's why CV is playing a vital role. Okay, so based on the CV only, many of the people have been get shortlisted, and then only they will start with the next set of process. So suitable candidates who can actually do the job well. So based on the resume, they will identify whether they have the right skills and what are the achievements they made it. All those things they can able to get on it. Assess actual skills rather than experience. So there are people who have a more experience, but they may not have that skill set. So that's why you need to assess. You need to assess the actual skills rather than going for experience, because even though experienced people are there, so they may not have that particular skill set. So if you're recruiting them, it is going to be waste for the organization. So instead of that, what they can do, they can go for assessing the actual skills, what they have it, what they possess it. If they have it, then they can go for picking up to the job. And so for this, these are the process are happening as a organization they have to do. First one is create a job specification. So we need to basically go for creating a job specification. So we have to specify something like job description they need to provide on it. And second one is create a job holder profile. So profile need to be created so that only we can able to get the details and obtain applicants. So then once you roll out into the market, and then people will be watching the particular advertisements through newspapers or through different modes you can advertise it, and through that people will go for applying it. So once you obtain the applicants, and then next one is you need to go for examine the CVs. That's why I told the first most important thing is they'll be analyzing your curriculum vitae, and based on that only they go for shortlisting the candidates. And once they shortlisted, then they'll go for calling the interviews. So in the interviews, we'll be having a different set of stages will be there. So starting from the aptitude, it's all depends on the type of people they are going to recruit on it. If it is going to be a fresher, always there'll be an aptitude test will be there. And once aptitude has been over, then they'll go for a next level where they'll be, I would say, either a GD or they'll go for something kind of, I would say, technical interview. And then once you cross the technical interview, then take it to the, I would say, HR, and the HR will be discussing on it, and everything goes well, then they'll go for, I would say, finalizing it. So there are companies, they'll be having other procedures also. So they'll be adapting some other procedure or some other mechanism, and through that also they'll go for, I would say, recruiting the people. Fine. Fine. So this is all about, I would say, recruitment process in an organization. So recruitment is the biggest process in the organization because they basically they need to, I would say, get the right people for the job. So another one more important thing I already shared with you, I would say, in the previous session itself. So whenever they are trying to recruit the, would say, people to the organization, the first most important thing is if everything is being finalized, then they will go for, I would say, your background verification, which is called background vetting. So in the background vetting, what they'll do, they will go for checking from your school itself. So they'll be checking whether the certificate which has been produced by you is correct or not. So and everything is being clear. So including your experience certificates and everything is being correct. Then I would say they will go for asking you to take up the, what to say, medical test, and then medical fitness, basically the medical fitness, and you are being medically fit. That means you are physically also fit. So once you're being physically fit, then medically also fit, and your experience and other as well as your qualification, everything has been true. Then they will go forward to say releasing the appointment order for you. So these are all things which is happening in the background, and they will be verifying on it, and then only they will go for finalizing it. Is that clear, students? The interview process or recruitment process, how it is happening?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Right. So that's why they'll be asking a reference. They'll ask you to refer some of the faculty members as a reference. So you'll be thinking that why they're asking a reference, what they're going to do on it. So these references, what they'll do from the company, or they'll be giving to the third party, and they'll be calling us and be asking about your, to say, details and your performance. And we have to, would say about your details and the performance. And based on that, would say there are certain points will be allocated, and then they will take it forward further. So that's why they're asking you people a reference. So similar way for the company also, they will ask you a reference, and in that reference, people also they will go forward to say verifying your details, and they'll be asking more details about you to would say whatever things that you are told is true or false. So that's why would say these are all comes under other procedures. So when you are making a reference, so see to that you are giving a right reference, and they should aware of you, so that only it is going to be, what to say, help for the recruiters to know more about you. Then it is easier for them to say select you, and as well as the person who is say giving the feedback about you should be a positive feedback, so that only would say it is going to be in a, would say, different level you can play around. So see to that, would you say, whenever you're making a reference, so you're giving the right choice, so that would you say it is good for you. Fine. So the next one is motivation. So motivation, it's another important factor, because we need to keep motivate the people. Otherwise, what will happen one point of time, if you are going down, then the entire thing will be get collapsed. So that's why motivation has become another important aspects. So motivation and application can often make up for shortfalls in innate skills. So here there is an, I would say, one of the approach which has come from yeah, author called Taylor's. So they are using a mechanism called financial incentives. So basically, it's they are saying that in terms of bonus, if you give to the employees, they'll be very happy. So because money also playing another vital role in their career, because when they want to let's say get additional things, something like a property, or it may be some would say car or maybe a bike or some other things they want to purchase on it. So with the regular, I would say, salary, they may not able to do on it. So if they provide some additional incentives to you people, so then I would say, which will make them happy, and then they will work more, I would say, towards the work. So that's what another thing. So one of the approaches been come from the author called Taylor's, and second one is Abraham Maslow. So yes, I would say. Lived in the year would say 1908 to 1970. So he has talked about this motivation. So from his point of view, we are going to discuss. So motivations vary from individual to individual. So people will be motivated by different things at different times. So people will always feel dissatisfied, but the focus of dissatisfaction changes over the time. So again, the motivations will change from, I would say, person to person. It is not always going to be same for everyone to be get motivated. So when you're giving motivation speech, in that maybe only few set of people will be going for get motivated. So other set of people will not be motivated. The reason behind it, their expectation is different. So that's why we need to identify. So that is more important thing. And people will be motivated by different things at different times. So they'll be get motivated for different things. Okay, so every time they will go for, I would say, uh, motivated based on that what to say things they liked on it. So that's why it will get vary. So it is not going to be same every time. So today maybe one thing they like it, and based on that they'll be get motivated, and tomorrow something else will they come to their mind, and accordingly they'll also will get motivated. So that's why it will get vary accordingly. And people will always feel dissatisfied. So people always will what to say feel dissatisfied, but the focus of dissatisfaction changes over the time. So there are certain point of time, would say what will happen, that dissatisfaction also will vanish away one point of time. So that's why, would you say the motivation and dissatisfactions will always change according to the mood of the person. It will get vary. So that is one of the, what to say, observation which has come from the Abraham Maslow. And hierarchy of needs. Again, it's also based on the hierarchy. As lower ones fulfilled and the higher ones emerges. So as would you say the lower one, if you are trying to fulfill, then automatically would you say the higher one will be get emerged automatically. So that's why hierarchy of needs also become playing a vital role in motivation. Right. So this is all about what to say Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So from various what to say layers he has given. So one is like what to say um, psychosociological. That is the first one. Second one is safety, and third one is the social, and fourth one is the esteem, and the fifth one is going to be self-actualization. So these are the, I would say, five different layers of this Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So which has been, I would say, created in the year 1943, way long back. We has mentioned about it. And here, if you've seen that self-actualization, which is it's all about, I would say, a challenging job. So people will be always they want to self-actuate it. So where they look out for a challenging job. So that is the first thing. And second one is esteem. So it's all about the status of the employee and how they are recognizing in their organization. So if they are having a recognition in their organization, okay, Pavan Kumar, yeah, yes, fine, you can do that.
Thank you, sir.
So status also been matters for the organization, and as well as recognition also, we need to recognize the people for their work, whatever they have done on it. If you are not recognizing, that is also going to be, would say, demotivate them. So that's why recognition has become another important aspects when you go for a hierarchy of needs. And social, when you come to the social, so well-known employer, compatible worker. So if you've seen that, would you say the people always, once you join into the organization, they will go for, would you say, socializing it. How they will socialize? So they start with their co-workers, those who are joined along with them. And then later on, they will start establishing their, would you say, relationship with the other people. So how they will do it? They will start with the well-known employer first, and then they will go for in a group, and then they will be socializing it. So that is another, I would say, hierarchy of needs. And the fourth one is safety, long-term employment. So safety is basically like whenever they are recruiting to the organization, initially they'll be making you as an intern, and it's a temporary post which will be for a duration of let's say 3 months, 3 to 6 months. And based on your performance, they will go for hiring as a let's say regular employee. And once you are become a regular employee and you are become permanent in that role. So once you are permanent only, then the employees will feel that let's say comfort. And once they feel the comfort and would say if they are working for a few years and if they are more comfortable, then automatically they will be, I would say, extending their duration, and they'll be staying longer duration in their particular organization. So that's why long-term employment is basically they are feeling, would say, safe in their particular organization, and if they are getting a lot of things from help from the management, then automatically I would say the people will be stayed in that particular organization for a long term. And the last point, which is about good employment or good working conditions. Again, psychosociological, which is basically nothing that would say they need to would say the employer who is working on that particular company, they need to be have a would you say good working condition. That is also being matters. If they have a good working condition in their organization, the people always will be tend to be happy, and then would you say they go for working would you say more time. So basically, for that, their mental health should be strong, and as well as they should be feel in a relaxed environment when they are working on it. If they feel that pressure always, maybe from 24/7, if they are feeling the pressure, then automatically I would say the people will tend to leave the organization. So that's why that is another important aspects. So if they are feel would say happy, and if they are would you say ready to take the responsibilities, and in a relaxed mode if they are doing it, then automatically I would say the people will be staying a longer term. And for that, they should have a proper, I would say, working environment. They should have it. If they have a proper working environment, then automatically everything goes well. So this is all about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is various aspects he has discussed on it. Fine. So the next one from the another author called Herzberg. So there is another author called Herzberg. So from I would say his perspective, he has would say suggested there are few things that been based on his analysis. There are two main set of factors which is going to be affecting job satisfaction. So job satisfaction is another important aspects. If they are not satisfied with the job, what they are would say working on it, automatically would say the people will tend to leave the organization. So that's why job satisfaction is another important factor. So for job satisfaction, there are two main factors. One is like hygiene or maintenance factors. So hygiene or maintenance factors like make you dissatisfied if they are not right. So they are not right. So that means in terms of would you say working conditions. So the conditions that's why I told the environment which you're working, if they are not right and if they are doing some bias, so then automatically the people will tend to would you say move out. And another one is the payment. Again, the payment also should be proper, and as well as the proper would say policy should be there, as well as the increment also should be properly given, so that would say the people will be there in their organization. If it is not there, then automatically there is a dissatisfaction in the job, and they would say move out of the organization. And the second one is the motivators, make you feel the job is worthwhile. So that means would you say a sense of achievements are the challenge. So you should have a, I would say always you some motivator should be there to motivate you. Would say make you feel that the job which you have taken it is worth. If you feel that the job which you've taken is worth, then would you say you tend to do lot more. And whenever you're doing a work, and if you feel proud, then you feel that you have done some achievements to the organization, and that achievement has been recognized would say from the organization. So then automatically would say will go would say in a lot more things which will go in a positive manner for the particular employee. And as well as they will tend to take challenges also. That means if there is any challenging job which has come, because already you have done the achievements and you got it, what to say, recognition also. Once you got the achievement and as well as recognition, if you got it, then automatically the people tend to take the challenge, and then they will do a lot more for the organization. So through that only they can able to increase the productivity. So again, if you seen that, it start from the, I would say, the motivation factor. So the motivators should be there. So it should be like a self motivation, as well as even the external factors also need to get motivate you, so that you can do a lot more. So that's why that is playing a key role in any of the, would say, project management, either not would say software alone, even the other field also. So that is the most important thing, right? And the next one, there is an approach which is being called as V-Room. There is an approach called V-Room. So V-Room and colleagues are identified three influences on motivation. Again, it's all comes under motivation, would say, factors, because motivation is one of the key aspects of any of the, would say, organization. So if you have, would say, employees are being motivated, automatically entire thing will go in a right manner. So for that, one more approach which is called V-Room approach. Okay, so in this V-Room approach, there are three, would say, influential factors they are given. One is that expectancy, second one is the instrumentality, and third one is the perceived value. So what is this? Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, sir, we hear you, sir.
My let's say if the Bluetooth is charge is got over, so that's why that's stopped it. Okay. So let me continue from where we left, where I left. So one is the expectancy, and second one is the instrumentality, and the third one is the perceived value. So what is this expectancy? So expectancy is nothing but the belief that working harder leads to better performance. So if you are, what to say, working harder, then what to say, you'll be getting better performance. So always when you are working hard, then you have some kind of what to say, expectations, right? And your expectations are become what to say, satisfied from the company. Then what to say, the performance also become better. And your expectations not become what to say, uh, satisfied, then automatically it will go down. And the second one is instrumentation. So here the belief that better performance will be rewarded. So again, once you have done the performance, I would say really good, then those performance need to be rewarded in terms of, let's say, something like recognition in terms of cash, or maybe something else if they are given from the organization, then automatically, let's say, this is going to be a monetization part. And perceived value of the reward. So for that, if you are getting the value, so if you are getting the value, whatever the reward which you are getting it from the organization, then which has a higher value. So these are the three, we say, motivation factors. One is expectancy, second one is instrumentality, and third one is the perceived value. So here if you see that note, if any of the above factors has zero value, then the motivation will also be zero. Expectancy is zero, or instrumentality is zero, and perceived value also becomes zero, then you cannot say, expect motivation from the employees. That means they won't be get motivated. So expectancy, complete compilation error, no matter how hard you try. So your the employer expected something, but the output should be should be good on it, but there is a compilation error no matter how hard you try. And instrumentality, removing fault on the software that is no longer used. So whatever fault which is being part of the particular software and it is not needed and it will get removed, then I would say that is called instrumentality. And perceived value, 90% of let's say get first place. 90% if you're getting first place, then that is going to be a motivation and everyone will be taking it forward. So something like if you are participating in the fest and you are not able to win the prize, so it doesn't matter. But I would say your 100%, I would say, if you are given to the say even which you participated, and for that participation, if you're getting appreciation, and along with it, if you're getting a certificate, then that is going to be a marvelous post. So that's what they're trying to do. So that is the kind of motivation that you're getting, right? So that next, so even you'll be doing it better, much better, and then you'll try to say achieve the place. So that's what it's trying to mean here. So V room and colleagues are being identified. So these are three, let's say, influential factors for and let's say motivation. So expectancy, instrumentality, and perceived value. These are three let's say key indicators are being essential when they want to get motivated and do let's say better performance further. So the next one, which is all about Oldham and Hackman job characteristics. So there is a quite bigger one, so that we will be discussing during the next